Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Corinne, Kate, Nick, and Felicia with their adventures in Illyria. Get well soon, Rodrigo. Already getting that vaccine, so it's nice to see that everybody's getting it. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder. Check out your options in the chat bar below. You can join our community by clicking the Discord link in the channel notes, or you can support us in what we do by becoming a subscriber. So, with no further ado, let's carry on with episode 124 of The Benefactor.
Hey.
And welcome back. And thank you to Scornfuse for subscribing for 10 months.
Yay!
Yeah, 10 months of wild magic. So
Also, I see Aura Prime.
How are we still alive?
Aura is cleaning house.
yeah.
Oh, it's Aura
Prime.
doing some hoss hoovering.
Aura swinging a ban hammer with intent.
Thank you, Prime. I was telling them
Love
that
you,
you cleared out, I don't know, about 50 in my chat the other day, so thank you for doing it here as well. Appreciate it.
Prime is a god.
Yeah. That's
This is why they have privileges in the stream.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and at the moment we do have, I think, more mods than bots. So bring it, bitch. So
don't tempt fate, darling.
yeah. What? Because they will back away if I'm nice to them.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, you pathetic maggots who have no lives. Anyway, we're in Ilaria, and we have a lovely time going through a rift. So we were called back to Ostergard. Or specifically, you returned to Ostergard, and Cora was told it's happened again. You went to one of the 3 gold mines. Ostergard, meaning Eastern Gold, has 3 gold mines, which is basically why the city became so affluent. You went to a mine that had history for Cora. The history specifically is that it's where her father died. You went into a scene that Cora didn't see when she was a child, but can imagine was quite similar. There was people bringing rocks out by physical and mundane means, healers on hand so that crush victims could be potentially healed straight away with divine magic. And you, in a problem-solving and using your abilities session, started moving the rock, phasing into it, talking to ghosts, healing people on the way out, sassing other priests of other religions, and eventually you got to the crunchy core. And the
there
crunchy
was
core.
stunk monkey movements.
Thank you.
When you got to the core, you found Renata. Clearly in a lot of effort, pouring with sweat, with a rock element, earth elemental, holding up the debris as Renata, using golden lightning shooting from her hands, started pulling this rift down into, keeping it from growing, I guess. After a tense conversation, she convinced you to go through the rift and collect whatever information you could. You stepped in and found out a few things. First of all, there was a dusting of this tainted residuum all over the place. Residuum is what happens if you disenchant an enchanted item. You bring it down to a gold dust normally. This one has a blood red color. It's a blood red dust. And you can see there's growths of this. There was growths of this red dust, this red crystal, on creatures that were dying the other side of the rift. They were close to the rift and they had died. The other side, on this side of the rift, to wherever it leads to, it's dusted all the way along. And there's places in the world which is kind of like this, not with the red dust, but with black sand that is just on top of white sand. It's beautiful. You can kind of see your footprints for miles. It's kind of the same. You have seen around you that there are the long dead corpses of giant horned creatures, variations on demons all over the place. A large one near you, you found yourself investigating because you can't go too far away from the rift, the tear. There's a time dilation, so you can't just go gallivanting off into the sunset. In order to stay as synchronized as you can be with Renata, you need to stay near the rift. Cora threw out from her bag of tricks a bunch of helpers. I didn't write down what they were, but one of them definitely was a dog, a rat, and something else, I think it was. And
there was a mastiff, a goat, and a rat, if I remember
the
rightly.
goat was what I couldn't remember. So the mastiff, you set off with its heightened senses to sniff around the corpse of the large, almost Goristro, kind of ram-horned large demon. And you found that there was a form of pendant. And looking at it, it could go around the neck or maybe a waist. And it had a single sphere, underneath which was a long, tapered, upside-down pyramid. You did some checks, didn't recognize it as any religion that you've heard of, and that's where we stopped. So, you have the pendant, you have the corpses, which are covered in a higher concentration of this red dust. And what would you like to do?
Samples, maybe? Do we have anything? Oh, actually.
I have jars.
Yeah,
I have
Eclipse,
jars we can
sweetheart, you have a mage hand, don't you?
Yes. I shall
I
use.
give Eclipse. I put a couple of jars out and give them to Eclipse.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll sleight of hand, or shall we?
No. As you, something I should correct. The dusting of the red dust on the landscape. I said it was like black sand on white sand. The landscape is not sand. It's a kind of soft, loamy rock. And you already, it crunches slightly underfoot. It's like a monolithic, porous, soft rock. And it is an almost uniform grey. There's very little variation in the colour. And then it has this dusting on top. So it's not actually sand that you're on, it's just got this dusting on the loam. So yes, Eclipse, if you use Mage Hand, you can whip up some of this this dust or break off a crystal from the corpse, or even take samples from the corpse. What are you going to be sampling?
Can I sample all of it?
Yeah.
I have
You would have
4
containers.
jars.
Yeah.
I have 4 jars.
Okay. So dust is an obvious one.
Yeah.
Solid crystal.
Yeah, some solid crystal, a bit of the corpse as well, I think, is...
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Gorm, it's like chalk. It's definitely as soft as chalk, to the point where if you kind of like drove your heel in, parts would break. And what else? So you've got crystal, dust.
Corpse.
Yep.
Bone is
and
what
bone.
we want. Eclipse, see if you can... No, I don't necessarily want to bring it through. I was going to suggest maybe bringing the head through, but we don't know how quite old it is.
This head is probably the size of a coffee table.
Oh, yeah.
There are smaller creatures that are within range. You can see that they are kind of soldier demons, humanoid shape, large dagger-like teeth, no eyes, just kind of like almost an alien, but like an alien dome, but like a human shape. I'm picturing the demons in Constantine.
Yeah, I follow. Well, good news is Speak with Dead doesn't necessarily have a time limit on it. It's just getting close to one of those things.
Yeah.
I wanted one of the big ones because potentially, might. In fact, can we see one that looks like, I don't know, fancier? Something like, he's got more ornate horns. Something that would designate as maybe
a fancier corpse.
Yeah, a fancier skeleton that may designate importance.
Yeah, that tells us of import.
There seems to be a crested demon. Instead of a full horn, it has like a crest that goes up, a bit like a Triceratops type crest, but instead it curls off into these nasty looking barbed spikes.
I mean, that's
Do I recognize what type of demon it is?
You don't. You recognize that these demons look like demons you may have heard of, but all of them seem to have a variation of a theme.
Just a theory I would like to throw out. Failures.
yes, that's
Yes.
certainly.
That was in the forefront of my mind as well. I concur.
That is probably not far from it at all.
Yeah. Hey, Cora,
Yeah.
do you think you could bring me that head? Not you, but like
Yeah.
the dogs and the
Fido can
goat
do
and-
it. And I send the dog off to go and get a skull.
Nah.
Oh, poor little doggy.
The dog does have to do the thing of gripping it with its, but it's a mastiff. It can fucking do this. Gripping it with its mouth and shaking it until the head comes loose, and it trots over, wagging its tail because good dog.
Good dog.
Drops the head of the crested demon at your feet.
There you go.
Right. Nobody touch. I'm gonna need 10 minutes. So amuse yourself for 10 minutes. Also, whilst I figure out some questions. So do things. So I can think.
Okay.
We
What are the rest of you doing?
we were told not to go too far from the portal, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, she said to stay within about 120 foot. So, you've got 120 foot times 360. You've got some space that you can walk around in. I'm not going to limit you that far. Mostly what the DM was saying was, please don't go and have a side adventure in the void.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
Don't
enough.
walk off 80 miles down this road.
Yeah, it's like, I haven't really made a map beyond 120 foot, so everything to be seen is here. I will point out, remember the large kind of panoramic crater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I thought I could do is just summon the Pegasus and just fly up high, basically, and just get an overview. I know that I think you've already kind of told us this about the crater and stuff. So, but that's probably what Cora will probably do. She'll have a fly around. And
let's get a bit more. So as you get higher, you can see indeed.
I can take someone with me probably as well if people want to fly around.
You can see that some of the scars you can see from some of the larger demons that have that are on the horizon. The Goristro one kind of is side on, and as you start to form what happened, the formation of this crater is clearly responsible for the killing of these creatures that all seem to have died simultaneously. The Goristro that you saw, because it's lying side on, like in parallel to the crater, that clearly rolled.
Right.
Whereas there's a large, what seems to be almost like it would have been quite chunky when it was alive. You can see that the scar across the floor, made by these two huge arms that have got like kind of spurs of bone in like large blades, like a kind of giant reaper demon, I guess. You can imagine that as it was attacking, it probably just swung its arms back and forth in arcs, just kind of.
I don't know if I like this idea of demon chunk.
This thing was big. It was a tank. It was made to just kind of cut a swathe through smaller creatures. Seems very purpose-built, I guess, but then a lot of fiends and things tend to have a lot of functions in the Blood War, and so it's not beyond imagining, but it also shows maybe some intelligent design. This, when it hit the ground, these blades that are coming out its forearms clearly dug into the ground. You can see the scratches that have now been filled in with this fine red dust. So there's like these ruby scratches before its body. And you can see that the lines of the scratches go right to the epicenter of the crater. So clearly this thing was thrown in quite some way as well. the other thing you can see is the top of the crater is not perfect. It's the top of it is jagged, so you're seeing it from this side. Yeah, but now you're high enough, you can see the top of it. It's ripped at the top, almost like somebody made a splash of molten metal and it froze straight away. This as Scornfuse said, this kind of chalky, loamy, porous monolithic rock. At one point superheated, and you can see that the top of this is almost glassy. Yeah. So there we are.
Okay.
That's pretty much what you can see. You can see that there are crystal deposits. You can see bits where the dust has collected maybe a little more in some areas. Give me an intelligence. No, actually, I will give you investigation check.
Ooh, okay.
Remember, you have the coin, so you get your
I get
permanent
my
guidance.
yes, I do. Oh, sorry. Give me a second, because I wasn't as prepared as I forgot to open up this. Why do I do that each time? Right. But so many bookmarks. Okay. Intelligence with guidance. Wait, no, is it investigation? Or just intelligence?
Investigation. I'll give you investigation rather than intelligence.
Okay, because yeah, that's good for me. Okay.
I don't know if you're proficient or not, but
I
it could be
am.
more advanced.
Oh, that's a 15 plus 5 to make 20,
Oh, nice.
but with
Plus
a
D4, yeah.
D4, which is a 3, so 23.
Okay. You seeing where certain parts of this dust is collected, you have a feeling that it came down from above. It came down second.
Almost rained down.
It's not grown up.
No.
It came down.
Like potentially like aftermath of the explosion in a way of the thing. It just settled, the dust settled kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be that, as it vaporized and as it came down.
Just like Fallout.
Yeah, but Fallout, yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll fly around a bit more and stuff while we wait for farewell, and then come down and prepare to give. Well, I'll probably pass the news around, but not to farewell while he's busy. But I will pass that information on when the time is right.
Sure. So, farewell. As you're doing the ritual, I would like you to make me an Arcana check.
Okie dokie. I have dice. So that is a 19.
You notice something. Not enough to make any fixed theories, but you do notice something. As you're casting this ritual, you feel an emanation from the dust, the crystals around you. There's nothing else that really explains it. It's not something that you feel like you can manipulate right now. It's certainly nothing dangerous. It's like the spell is somehow lubricated. It just is smoother.
Yeah,
just
casting
works.
spells around this much residuum might have some unintentional side effects. Farewell, be careful.
Yeah, I thought so.
Remember when Cora blew up an entire room?
Still not my fault. Shouts down from the.
I think it might be. I think it might be your fault.
Liability, what can I say? Not that she's a liability, but everyone is subject to liability. No one gets resistance to that.
No. No one gets resistance to stupidity.
Why not fucking
Despite we trying.
So the ritual goes ahead pretty easily, and you can feel the animation starting. And in front of you, the demon's skull doesn't do the ragged breath of most humanoids. There's this sudden presence around you. What is this?
An echo of what you were called to answer.
I feel power over me. Art thou my master?
To a degree.
Don't speak, new master, but know that I serve willingly only one, that who created me.
Then who created you?
I was created by creation itself. I am a prime creation. I am greater than those who would claim to be my kin. I am pure, and there's a hesitation. My kind shall rebuild this existence anew.
Well, we've heard that line before, haven't we?
Yeah.
I just say sort of like nonchalantly, as I think only I can hear what he's saying. I'm not sure. I can't remember how the spell works.
Let me check.
I think all of us can hear it because we listened in on another conversation you had with someone dead.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that
You
proves that
notice that the-
theory, right?
You notice that the mouth is kind of chittering, but you guys are hearing a mental voice. One of those things where I was like, well, the crested demon speaks through telepathy, but the spell does say you need a mouth that's intact, even though this one doesn't use it. I'll just run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll with it. Just roll with it.
Okay.
What is your
Stop.
bidding, minor master?
Let's start with something simple, shall we? Something that we've got a good idea of what it might. But what killed you?
Betrayal. Betrayal of my master's treacherous parents. They created him, and then they cast him aside. They were intimidated by his perfection and wished to taint his great works.
Okay. Well, that ticks that box. Okay. Where is your master's domain? Where is
My
Plague?
master's domain is everywhere. Everything that he has touched. His greatest place to be, his throne, his apex. I feel that upon you. Partially, but I feel it on the others around you. You are of more than one world, but others nearby come from his genesis. You know that the prime material plane was the first of the planes to be created.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything it kind of exploded outwards.
It is the apex. It is what all the other planes are based on.
So, anybody got any burning questions? I've got two more I can ask.
Well, we did get some theories confirmed already.
Well, I trust you to answer the questions. I don't necessarily trust myself.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, but I'm like, well, he just confirmed everything. Is there some other theory I have laying about? But I don't know.
Is there anything we can get? This is Kate talking, obviously, but like, you know, any use for this stuff other than what we already know? Anything that, you know, any reason to collect? Any reason to sort of, you know, stuff like that? I suppose could maybe be useful. I don't know. Or if it's architect wise, is there anything that we can get told about, you know?
Does he have to answer truthfully, Farewell?
No.
No, it doesn't have
He's
to.
not
I don't think.
obligated to answer truthfully.
But what you're getting so far is a zealot that wants to preach the truth, or at least the truth according to it. So it's less likely to lie and more just have a very fixed viewpoint of what was going on.
Yeah. I don't know. My brain isn't working.
If I was playing one of my bards right now, there's a question that I would absolutely ask this guy.
God damn it.
But it's me being a fucking ratbag.
Can you give us a hint to what the question is, Derek?
No.
Well, you're really gonna ask him how Demon Dick looks.
So.
No, but like seriously, if the architect is supposedly the most perfect being and only creates perfect being, then what is the perfect dick?
I mean, yes, that is a question, but I don't think that's a question we necessarily want to ask.
Exactly. I'm blame Simon.
Sometimes I really, I just wonder where your brain goes.
I think I mentioned the word bard and it just marred everything.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go there. There is in my mind a perfect question that you can ask right now.
I know.
Can we roll a dice to
feel
see
like-
if we can think about it?
No, this is a player wake up moment.
I'm not good at the player wake up button. I'm very bad at it.
I'll tell you at the end of the session.
No, because I could drag this out for 3 hours. It doesn't end until I finish my 5 questions, so we could just sit there for 3 hours.
What's your birthday? What's your favourite colour?
So I get 5 questions.
Come on then,
Yes.
chat.
Are you sure?
Help us
Yes.
out here. This is
Are
why
you
we have a
really
chat.
sure? Are you really, really sure?
And the final question is, so should I ask my questions now? Yes. Okay, my first question is,
Yeah. And then you have to wait 10 days before you can do it again.
yeah.
What is your quest? What is your favorite color? What is travel velocity of unladen swallow?
Unladen swallow.
African or European?
I don't know. Like, what can you even ask like a seller to answer regarding its master? Like, I guess he could like rattle up the doctrine of the architect, but do we really care about that?
The questions we've asked, just to recap for me, because I was total listening.
Who's your
We got
master? Who's your daddy? To do.
so it was who's your master?
Who's your master? What happened here?
What happened there? Who killed you?
Well, how did you die?
How did you die?
And he said
Where is your
betrayal.
master's domain?
Yeah.
And
So the first two
who
definitely.
is your master's domain? I thought was quite a clever one because it confirmed that the architect is strongest in the prime material plane.
So we definitely don't want him in the prime material.
Prime material, yes. We want to deal with him anywhere but the prime material plane.
Yeah.
Gunfuse is on point.
I mean, we could ask, like, how one contacts him in order to make sure that other people don't.
Don't make me get the hose, Scorn.
Need the like the bonk thing.
Naughty kobold.
Okay. So who's? What is your? He's not going to tell us the real.
Does your
What's your master's
to
weakness?
anyone? Does your master answer to anyone?
Is that the question you're going to allow, Nick?
Like, that's the one thing I can think of. Like,
oh, go on. We've got we've got one other question like that. I think I know what the answer might be.
So shall we phrase it? Does your master answer to anyone, or who does your master answer to? Might be a better question, because then he has to either deny that he answers to anyone or give us a name, possibly.
Yeah, out of the two, it's who does your master answer to? Because if the answer is nobody, then that answers the first question.
Yeah.
So let's go with
that. Right.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah. Who does your master answer to?
My master once answered to the gods that he would call father or mother. But since the betrayal, his dedication is only to the task that they gave him. In such, he still serves divine purpose. But now he serves the divine purpose above the gods themselves.
Right. Well, basically confirms what we know about him being cast down from the gods, and he'd be like, I could do better with blackjack and hookers.
I mean, to be fair, kind of did.
Or indeed, hookers wielding blackjacks.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, which is equally terrifying. Equally terrifying. My brain is drawing a blank, and this is really, really annoying.
Mother and father, like, that is a hint, definitely. And the only one I can think of is that Pelor is called the All-Father.
Yes, and he wouldn't be talking about the Raven Queen, because Raven Queen is later.
I will give you, because I've referred to it in the past, the All-Mother is Melora.
Yes, I was about to say Melora. Because she is the Mother Nature, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's talking about Melora and Pelor. Most likely.
Probably.
Yes, yeah, Melora and Pelor. We get melodious with the gods. Can you swing that? You swing that, Farewell. Can we speak with the gods?
Kinda. It's a very metaphysical conversation. It's not a literal one. And to be honest,
Nick's at the level that he has several ways of asking the gods questions.
They're also like assholes and can be very picky about how they answer. So
I think a few of them only allow yes or no answers.
Yeah, because they're dicks.
And that's why they make them so good for DMs.
Yeah. What to ask?
So the Arctic
if we-
answer to Melora and Pelor. Their domains are nature and isn't it life-ish for Pelor?
Pelor is light and hope.
Yeah.
And guidance, I guess.
Yeah, Melora
the guiding
is
light. Melora
nature.
is nature
And life as well, because nature and life.
She's Mother Nature, basically.
Mother Nature, yeah.
Mm.
Could we ask what the off switch is, essentially?
No. We asked our 5 questions, didn't we?
No, we have one
you've
question
done
more.
4.
Oh.
You can ask.
I mean, well,
But I don't
like-
think he's gonna give us the answer.
Well, like, is there you know, if we asked
what
would
is
make
your
him stop?
master's greatest challenge?
What's your master's greatest work?
Possible. You were saying something, Kate?
Well, my would be something like, you know, he's obviously gone rogue essentially, but do we know what would make him stop? You know, kind of thing. That could be because that's what we want to know. right? We want him to stop.
I have an idea. He mentioned that the architect still follows the things that the gods laid out to him. What was his purpose? Like, what was he supposed to create?
The world.
Yeah,
You-
but like, he has to be working towards something, not just the world. That's too.
The fact that he's still going, yeah.
Yeah, he's already created it, but what is it specifically that he needs to have done to fulfill his duty that he
So
still
what's
hasn't
the-
done?
So what's the specific question that gives that off?
Yeah, that's the big question. I had the idea. Help, please. Brain no work.
Thank you for the subscription, by the way, to see it.
Oh, thank you.
Is it something like, you know, what is his... When would his task be complete or something? What would he...
Hmm?
Oh, we know who his master is. It is the architect.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to defeat the architect with questions.
Yeah.
What's his weak spot? Is he ticklish?
That would be a very
Behind
Cora
the
question.
knees.
Yeah. Oh, that weakness. We just
He
get
strikes
feather.
me as a neck guy.
Is anyone ticklish in the neck past childhood?
I have no idea.
I don't know an
Yes.
adult that's ticklish on the neck.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Ah,
Reveal your weaknesses, please, yeah.
Yep. I was about to say.
Oh, don't worry. At least I'm not ticklish underneath my feet, like most people.
Like Simon.
Now we know Simon's weakness. Quick!
Yes.
This is the Corinne, get
That's
in
okay.
there!
I wear shoes. I wear shoes more than Felicia wears neck braces. So, yeah.
Oh boy.
To be fair, I also can't breathe that when I have something touching my neck. So,
Weird.
you know, it's
And the-
weird.
And Dacia wants to know what happens when he slaps them cheeks on the architect with a on the architects with a honey-coated spatula.
Hmm.
Good things? Question mark.
yeah.
I mean, you might hit a kink and get into a negotiation. But anyway, anyway.
How do we
One question.
devolve this much every time?
It's D&D. It always turns into.
Hmm.
Dacia Maple just makes it classier. It doesn't actually change the potency.
Well, yeah. But yeah, like, when is your master's task finished or something along those lines, I
Yeah,
guess?
like when will it be complete? What does he have to do for his task to be completed?
Okay.
Maybe.
Or
Okay. I
purpose.
asked that.
It's okay. I'm just banning a few more.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Prime I'm sure will help if he's here.
Yeah, I don't know if they're in chat though. This is
Yeah.
follows. So, the what is the question? I think I know the question you kind of settling on.
It was what does he have to do for his task to be completed? So something
Okay.
like that, I think, was what we were basically saying.
Final answer.
Yeah, it's all I can think of.
The demon, suddenly the presence swells almost with pride and says, perfection. And yet a perfection that is beyond the wisdom of the gods. As such, his eternal task is to experiment and evolve beyond any reckoning that the gods are capable of, to strive out in every permutation until perfection presents itself to him. Only then, only when an infinite number of worlds have been created, only when an infinite number of races has been created, only when every permutation of every structure, every plant, every idea and culture has been collected, only then will he know the shape of creation and destroying all else. That should be what remains. When doing so, the gods shall weep and bow down before the majesty of the architect's vision. They shall embrace him once more and beg forgiveness for their hubris. They will acknowledge that their creation was indeed the best that the creation of the gods could create, and as such, they themselves will know perfection.
Well, damn.
Yeah. I mean, you could take comfort in the fact that, you know, that's something that's never going to end.
Yeah.
Extrapolating from this farewell, you get a feeling that the major thing that the architect has against the prime material plane and all the other planes currently in existence is that it's been done. He wants to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and put new things on it.
Yeah.
It's not even that he hates you. He doesn't even want you dead. He just needs the space to draw.
Right.
Well, can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Sparky here needs to come with us. Might have to...
I mean, this head is a lot smaller. This is a humanoid head with a crest, so it's no different to like the same size as the Pope's head and the hat. You could slip this into a bag of holding.
Yeah, I also don't want to touch it, if I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, that's
Fair comment.
fair.
Just unpleasant. Well, we've got Mage Hand, so Mage Hand can carry him
Yes.
until
Yes.
we can put him somewhere safe.
I will carry.
Righto?
The weird thing for me about this whole place is it really does have that whole divinely nuked from orbit feel. It's just...
Perhaps we could have asked where we are.
True.
How many more heads out there?
The whole
I've
session
also
is
got
just...
a limited number of spell slots before I
Like
need
you.
to sleep. Yeah, right. Okay.
Next.
Number 637. Now, I'm sure you've been listening to all of the others. Farewell's like completely snapped by this stage. I have been patient. I have been kind. Put the hammer in front of it. I trust I will not have to use this like I have on the 400 others. So So you are answer my questions. We have ways of making you talk.
It's called magic.
You still got a lot of stuff around you, so
I just don't understand how, and I just point to the giant fuck off portal behind us, where that's come from. Like, there's nothing obvious here. I'm not used to people that can operate at a level of competence. Usually it's like some sort of weird cult and there's shit on the floor. It's some idiot, so he's just sort of stands there gawk-eyed as we step in, bitch slap him like an asshole that he is. You know, there's so here it's a hole, an impressive hole, full of corpses and residuum and all sorts, but nothing on this side that gives us any understanding that something or someone has ever been here. Which means either this is complete random chance, or somebody knew this realm existed and opened a portal to it on our end. I mean, that might.
There's also the possibility of wherever this is being interlinked with the prime material plane due to the architect's tinkering.
That's very true. The gold mine doesn't sit on top of a ley line or something like that, does it?
Well, you know the ley lines can move.
And there's no such thing as ley lines, by the way.
Yeah.
You've been told that, well, there are like mana streams, I guess, and streams of ether and energy that come from the maelstrom that can be found, but ley lines is pushing it a little bit. They may be referred to by some NPCs, but they're not a huge thing in this. So you have been told that this rift has appeared nearby in some other places, and in doing so, they were underground and they were in solid rock. You have also been told that in amongst the gold here there are small veins of residuum. But then that's kind of true in most places. Dig long enough and hard enough and you'll find like the tiniest little sliver of the stuff. You know, occasionally a farmer gets like a windfall because they're digging out a pond or something like that, and they'll just find like a small chunk of residuum, and you know they get to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible there may be a magical thing, or it could be that someone came down here because it was a safe place to open a portal to experiment. Who knows? I mean, there's so many possibilities. You haven't got enough data really to know why it happened here. You are aware, to regurgitate some old story, that Renata jumped on the first rift that happened inside this mine. When she knew that it was going to happen, she foresaw it, and she prompted the events of the first emergence of the architect, because she saw this as the only future where you stood a chance of winning. So she was involved in that part, so you may want to kind of just go back over that with her. But for the most part, this was the problem. So what I want from you is try whatever else you want to try and tell me when you're just about to give up.
Right.
Yeah, but basically tell me when you're done.
Uh-huh. You say that like we know anything else we can do.
Well, if you're out of ideas, that's when you stop.
I suppose.
Do you guys have any
There isn't
ideas?
an exhaustive quest list here. This is RP investigation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm racking my brains, and unfortunately, I've hit that stage where like No talk, must think. Cannot think and talk at the same time. I'm incapable of multitasking at this moment in time, so I'm focusing on thinking.
We could take our break early if that might help.
Let's recap over where you are and what you've seen. You're in a rift. You've passed through a rift. You do know from your other places that other places you've been that you have undergone planar travel. The ground doesn't seem to have any plant life or ecosystem. It is a uniform monolithic rock to the point where there's no variation in color, doesn't seem to be sun bleached in any way, doesn't seem to show signs of shadow. Light seems to just come from somewhere. There's no sun overhead, there's no stars in the sky. There's a giant crater, and that's the only place where the monolithic rock changes, and that the inside is glassed. So a large amount of energy would probably be done there. The demon-like creatures that are around you seem to have scattered from the point of the crater's creation, call it explosion. Dust at some point kicked up in the air and settled down all around you to the point where everything has a light dusting. And there is, on all of the corpses, varying levels of crystal formation, whereas the rest of the red residuum, the tainted residuum, call it what you will, came down as a fine dust. These are the only places where it has grown, like growing crystals in a jar. Those are the only places where the crystal structures are. They are nowhere else. Other than that, the landscape would be a featureless landscape if it wasn't for those details. And the only thing that you've seen that is different is the thing that had the orb and the inverted pyramid, which, as I say, could be worn around the belt, or if it's bigger, maybe around the neck, some sort of pendant symbol.
Can we bring that back with us?
Yeah, it's an object.
Yeah, I would like us to do that then.
Okay,
And also, I would like to suggest so they all died because the archetype was betrayed by the gods. Now, the next question is, why are they all here? I would suggest that perhaps this is the realm or perhaps pocket dimension from which the architect was creating from the beginning, like his base, the original laboratory for his creations.
I'm not sure.
It's definitely a plane I think he massed troops on. Whether or not he worked here, he certainly kept his power here.
I would believe that because of the crater itself, the impact must have been divine, immense. Perhaps this is where he was struck down by the gods before his imprisonment.
I think this is probably the place he was struck down.
Yes.
I mean, this has got divine wrath written over. You tend to make a
does, doesn't it?
Plus hole in the floor. If you're not angry at somebody, and we all know how angry they get, they are very, very grumpy. So, I think we take the skull, we take the necklace, we retreat back through the pool, we close it on the other end, and we figure out our next moves from there. Oh, and unless Cora is going to say otherwise, I think you have a gold mine owner to melt, Glory.
Huh.
Oh, if that is what is required, I won't say no. It's been a while.
It depends entirely on you, Cora, of course, on how you want to deal with it. But I have a feeling that, you know what? I'm really tired of this goddamn forsaken gold mine taking people's lives.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
I will point out that very short amount of time, Ola Soraka did actually speak to you, and then you guys went straight into the mine.
Yeah.
So she is on the surface.
Yeah.
We said we had no time for you. We need to fix this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the table. Anyways, let's call back our familiars as they were out renaissancing.
Yeah.
Reconning. I don't know words.
Renaissancing sounds perfect. I love it.
Yeah, Renaissance.
The reconnaissance, as
I just imagine them all coming back with like really bad American medieval clothes, where they think that's what European medieval people wore and acted, and it's like it's so Americanized, it's not even funny.
Well, it's also Renaissance rather than Renaissance, so it definitely is is American.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, what I'd recommend. Sorry, are you leaving now? Are you going back through the rift?
Yeah, because
we're calling back our familiars first of all to see what they found.
They didn't really get a huge amount more than you did, and largely that's when you sent the familiars out. I was like, okay, I'll give you some gimmies on the way back, but you got most of it. You get confirmed that the dust appeared to have come from the sky. The demons all seem to be different. Your shadow wormling, Glory, tried to find two that was exactly the same. Couldn't do it. Couldn't match any two of them.
Yeah.
Even in the small humanoid soldier demons, they all had some different arrangement of ribs or a different shaped femur or whatever. That's pretty much that. Awen couldn't detect much in the way of emotion here, even residual emotion. But she said that's probably not surprising, being that she would probably be able to detect it in the moment, but unless it was connected to the Feywild in some way, there would be no record, no story. Even the creature that you spoke to, Farewell, you do get from Eowyn that there was no real emotion from the crested demon, even though it would only be an echo because you did speak with dead. There was more like a cold, flat intelligence. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's how she describes it. And, she says, even children have some form of emotional profile. This thing had nothing. And yet it seemed to speak with some level of reverence.
Biggest of hmms.
I mean, I trust your wormling as far as I can throw it, but
It's not going to lie to Glory, though.
And also, why would it lie about this?
Yeah.
Half the time, if you want to know if anybody's lying, the first question you should say is, what does it gain from lying? If the answer is nothing, it probably isn't lying.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say the reason we've got so much red residium is probably their souls didn't go anywhere, or whatever they had passed for souls didn't go anywhere, and
they just kind of collected.
It's all around us. It's the reason why the thoughts and everything kind of felt all around us. Why the contact felt all around us. Because, in effect, everything that died here is still here. It's in the ground, it's in the rocks.
Mm,
It's not gone anywhere.
no.
The question is again, was Orla using these portals as a handy way to make some residuum on the side, and was digging dangerous tunnels to chase them? Or is this just very unfortunate circumstance?
Why don't we go and try and find out?
I don't disagree.
As you head towards the rift flares momentarily, and walking through with a towel, kind of brushing, kind of drying up her hair, that she then puts around her neck, is Renata. Okay, first of all, Renata, about 2 hours from now, don't tell me when you come back through. I had the idea that I could come back and come in, so I closed my eyes, so I don't know right now whether I succeeded or not, so don't tell me that I came here, because then I'll know it happened. It's a thing. Right. What have you found?
Hey.
Oh, quite a lot. And also, not that much. It depends.
Well,
Farewell, would you like to explain what what's it called? This
disembodied
beheaded friend here.
Mended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. And for the sake of brevity, I will explain what was discussed. And go through it. I'm going to go through it in factual detail, but I'm paying very close attention to how she reacts.
Studious. Give me, well, seeing as you're so good at it, give me insight.
Sure. Oh. Where's me dice? That's 24.
She seems, as I say, studious, taking it in. You don't feel like she has heard any of this before. It does appear to be new information, but the way that she's nodding along, and when you say a certain bit, she kind of goes, as in, it makes sense. Yeah, the whole tip into the head where she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, or I came to the same conclusion or whatever. She doesn't, other than nodding and occasionally, I'll say, tipping her head and things like that. She is an attentive listener. And she says, well, a pocket plane. We've heard of these things. Not a demi-plane either. This appears to self-sustain, which means that we have a moment of opportunity.
Go on.
Well, frankly, for your training.
Oh dear.
She walks up to the body of the Garistro, or the Garistro-looking being.
Is it our training or is this specifically farewell training?
Only farewell will understand what I'm doing. So you can feel the passage of time here right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are actions, perceptions. The world is being witnessed. One thing happens after another, as it should do, otherwise chaos. This is part of how time works. It's perceived. It has consequences. There is a way of reducing the events down to zero. It's hard to do in the prime material plane because plants will grow, the sun will move across the sky, water will flow, wind will blow dust. All of these things are consequences. They have series. Here, there's no wind, no light. Well, there's light, but the light doesn't move. Once the dust settles, once the last mote has rolled down a slope, this place comes to a complete standstill. So it's clearer here than in other places. I want you to feel backwards in time. The time that you've been here will feel vibrant, busy, like being in the middle of a city. The actions, the words, the thoughts that you've had will be like standing in a market square with people talking and people picking up things and chopping things and carts going past and horses whickering. But it will be just a general activity, a susurrus. We'll get to that in a minute. It's confused having in the cutscene.
In a cutscene.
When the event level goes down, time hangs heavy. It's not pushed along by events. It's holding on to those motes of dust, to the sky changing with clouds and sun, water flowing downhill, with a single conscious entity, single ghost. You can feel this, and it's an ability that you'll be able to do. Just a little trick the time sensitives learn to do. It means that you'll be able to know when something happened last, something of significance. So you could walk into a building that's abandoned and know when the last person walked in. You would be able to know when the last time a volcano erupted. You will be able to know basically when the last great significant event happened. And as you get better at it, you'll be able to refine it. You'll be able to know the last time somebody picked up a fork by looking at the fork. You'll be able to know the last time a particular person was kissed just by looking at them.
Oh. I hope it
Do you
doesn't
want
go
to know
that
that?
level into graphic detail. You can just turn this off. This isn't like a once you start,
You have
once
to
you
focus.
see, you cannot unsee it
You-
kind of thing.
You have to focus on it, and you only
Oh,
get a
thank
time
Christ.
period. I would like you to look back to the last time before our entrance here. The last time something significant happened.
You know, has anyone told you that you sound surprisingly like every single cleric teacher there's ever been? Oh, young Master Farewell, it's very easy. You just do it. Not. No.
But you have been doing it.
idea. That's not the point.
Normally people learn how to perceive the energies of magic or divine or prime powers before they start manipulating it. Whereas, well, after Eclipse's little, she probably doesn't know about that. You've already folded time.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Carry on.
You've been talking about me. What have I done?
Nothing. Chill out. It's okay.
No.
I just look at her like, dude.
She shrugs and says, "You've already manipulated. Now take a step back and perceive."
Fine. And there's that big, huge sort of like exhale of almost like all the air in Farewell's body. He just sort of centers for a second and then relaxes. All those sort of like deliberate little blocks that you throw up to sort of focus your mind when you need to. He just starts one after another, just looks in a way he's probably never looked at this plane of existence before.
You start by just remembering your experience here, because you were here for the first part of it, as you're going from the present backwards, that is. You start thinking backwards through your memory, and it's almost like you're taking a run-up. It's easy to remember what you were here, and it's like, well, this bit's easy because I remember it. So I'll take a run through that, and hopefully I can break through the other side. And sure enough, as you're making yourself aware of time energies around you, there is that busyness of it all. You came in, you were like, oh, what's this place? And everything was perceived, everything had consequences. You know, the flash of imagination and investigation, you know, consequences as you were disturbing things that hadn't been disturbed in a very long time. And as you're getting to the point where you came in, you're trying to focus on this plane of existence, this area around you, and not your memories. You're trying to divorce yourself from the memories that you're using as a crutch and going back beyond that point and focusing only on this spot and the time to deal with it. Give me the first spellcasting roll, please.
Okay. This. It's not great. It's a 17. I rolled the 7.
Okay, 17. So you are down by that much, which means I get to roll that dice. Okay, take 12 points of psychic damage as you go through the threshold. But as you do so, as you break through, kind of looking into memories that are not your own, you don't manage to get your head around it fast enough. And as you go through, it is rough. You can feel your consciousness shredding as you go through it all. And there is indeed nothingness. Absolute nothingness. The huge cacophony of time energy, like white noise. The point where you can feel it going down when you first came in through the portal, through the rift, and then you managed to go quite quickly to the point where the rift first started, and it goes from this low level to silence. A plane of zero consequence. Time itself becoming redundant, dormant. It's like going through a nebula, where the nebula is time at first, bright colors, then going into a section that is subdued, maybe a single color or grays. And then you come out of the nebula and all there is starless night. You can only see forward. All of that is backward now, and you go into this blackness, this void where time itself slumbers. You start almost, from your perception, the equivalent of squinting to look further. And what happens instead is you just end up going through the timeline a lot faster. There's nothing to see. And so in the same way, there is pinpoint of light.
Desperately looking for the fast forward button. Like,
it's more a case of, to go with the space analogy, it's looking for that one star that you can see through light years and light years and light years of darkness, a single point of light. And there's a point where you're just about to disengage, and then just, if you were using your eyes, you would think it's a trick on your retinas, but it's not. This is in your mind. You have absolute clarity as to whether you're seeing something or not. And that tiny mote suddenly becomes a pinprick of light that then starts hurtling towards you, growing and growing and growing. You can anticipate the cacophony that's going to be there when you hit, and you're thinking, oh my God, is this it? Is this, am I going to see, how much time had crackled when this giant event went off? And you remember, no, there was an event before this. The first rift to happen in the mine. That's what's hurtling towards you. And you brace yourself as you hit it. I would like you to do me another spellcasting.
Pray for me. Pray for me. Okay, better. It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I only roll one of those. So take 3 points of psychic damage as it hits, but you brace yourself for it. It hurts. It's intense, but it's something that you're able to focus on. And as you do so, you can feel this crackle. And there is a point of crescendo. There's a point where time itself suddenly explodes. And you do get this feeling on a 20 that this is one of the most profound parts of time. And that is something ending. Either something was destroyed or it was a death. And I'm going to stop right there. Because as you do that, Cora starts to fade. And we'll get to that after this 10-minute break.
I was going to do something.
Bum, 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 bum.
Uh-oh.
Bum.
Okay.
Yeah, for copyright purposes, we have slightly changed that.
Right, we're going.
Yeah. Start with EastEnders, go into shave and a haircut.
Hell
See
yeah.
you, see you after the break.
See you.
See ya.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. And before we continue, we love Prime. Prime is fucking awesome.
We love Aura
Not
Prime.
Twitch Prime, but Prime.
But Prime,
Aura
our
Prime.
Prime. Aura Prime is fucking awesome. Thank you for being a great mod. And I didn't realize this, but when Prime bans this asshole who's been putting these bots out, he's been copying it over to our ally streams and banning them on those streams as well. So just, dude, thank you so much.
Well, the ones he mods for anyway.
All the ones he mods for, the allies that we mod for. So when we left off, Farewell, under the instruction of Renata Green, has looked back along the time record. Not so much being able to see time going backwards, but mostly seeing when time has been perceived or when it's been still. Kind of almost like white noise saying when there's activity and consequence and when it's quiet. It's more a perception of difference than of noticing anything in particular. As Renata has been calmly giving this mentoring narrative, and Farewell, his eyes closing, 1,000-yard stare before they close.
Oh, stop at me! What are you going on? What's going on?
Cora, the words that Renata's saying strangely resonate with you. Even though Eowyn has said about there's no emotion out there, no residual tale to be told, the words that Renata's saying about how this consequence and activity and then the nothingness, just as she's telling it, you're blinking and you're feeling yourself drifting backwards yourself. You find, instead of whatever Farewell might be feeling, bless you,
Thank you.
Oh, adorable.
instead you get first the most recent emotions of concern and frustration and investigation, kind of intrigue, I guess. You start recognizing that this was you lot doing this. You get a sudden spike of insult and being lost, devoid of guidance.
Oh.
And then it goes again, and then surprise as you came in through the portal, and then a moment of panic, maybe a flash, and then nothingness. Sure enough, no thought, no story, no imagination. For Faye, this is like being in a desert and craving water. You feel yourself dry and malnourished. It's uncomfortable. You should imagine for any Fae, any true Fae, this would be almost unbearable. You're perceiving something that you yourself weren't there, so you can't even feel your own emotions. It's like not feeling your own thoughts in your head, a feeling of being just an empty shell. And then in the same way that Farewell saw that mote of light, you also see something on the horizon. Not quite sure what it is. And weirdly, there's kind of almost like two things to notice. And you're wondering, could one of them maybe be farewell? And the second that the thought occurs to you, you know, well, of course it's farewell. And you can feel your friend's emotion of going back in time. You feel the farewell now traveling back as you catch up with him. And as you do so, you almost collide. And farewell, you suddenly feel this huge amount of presence around you, kind of bringing you a window to the present as Cora's present consciousness is near you. To continue the space metaphor, you've got this approaching sun or star or nebula coming up to you, but right next to you now is a small Roman candle that you immediately recognize as Cora.
Hey,
And
I
both
was
of you
about
are
to call for
hurtling
you.
back.
I was just trying to do the thing, you know, where like I drag you along with me and then you usually turn out fine. How did you do that?
Cora, you feel more the emotions of what he's saying than the specific words, but you do get the meaning.
Can I talk to him?
You haven't fucking tried yet.
Oh, that's true. Hey.
Do you know you're a candle? I mean, it's a good look for you.
I'm a halfling, not a candle. I've been a pot plant once, though.
It's true.
Farewell, you are hearing... how would she be perceived by you? She speaking to you in memories. You're not hearing it in the present, but the second she's finished saying what she's saying, you remembered that she said it.
Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. I don't like that. Can we change
And
that?
for both of you, a very different from each of your point of views, event horizon is hurtling towards you.
Okay. Hey, Renata, is that normal?
Ride the wave, farewell.
Fuck.
As it hits, both of you feel something very different. For farewell, it is the cacophony of consequence. I'm catching you up with the description I gave you before the break. And that big spike for the death. As you do that, you can feel that Cora, well, you remember that Cora is feeling something similar, but different. Cora, as you hit, panic, resolution, a little bit of bargaining, then in no particular order, sorry, because I probably fucked up the order. After resolution, a kind of sadness and mourning. And between the two of you, you can feel your energies bouncing off each other, like you would be able to succeed together more than you are apart.
Our friendship.
D&D
Would you
Voltron.
be upset with me if I put you inside of a lantern? You would be upset with me if I put you inside of a lantern, wouldn't you?
As long as I can breathe. I mean, I don't know. I'm a candle.
I mean, as far as I can perceive, but that might just be my brain.
And
Although I don't know why my brain would
he's a
pick
collection
candle.
of emotions to you.
Right. I'll light the way.
Oh god, I'm just a giant ball of anxiety.
Yes.
Pretty much.
just this huge
Just
ball
this
of anxiety,
giant,
nervous energy.
slightly shaking blob. Yeah.
Yeah. Wibble.
Sure. You do you.
No, I have a feeling that you'll just come along anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
right. So. Shit. I'm really sorry. There's another one of those let's throw him in the deep end lessons that apparently I am really equipped to deal with. So I'm gonna do a few things, and Farewell moves his hands in such a way that several circles just appear geometrically in front of him, as far as he perceives, because he perceives himself as is himself, and they sort of all intersect with different lines, and it almost becomes like a clock face, but it's more sort of interlaced with like runic time, and I cast Fortune's Favor on myself, and it just sits hovering on my forehead, just in case I fuck anything up and I need to reroll something. Sure. Mechanically. Just be like, might fuck this up. Okay, so that's the last one of those gone. Boom, that's all but gone. That's nice. It blocks out all my third levels. Oh, that's lovely. So what do I see? What do we see in front of us, Simon? As we
around you, you can feel spikes of things that are different proportions of that. Have you put Cora in the lantern?
Yeah. So I've kind of tied it.
So you do your preparation first, and then you reach out, grab Cora, and perceive a lantern and slam the two together. As you do so, all of the cacophony around you suddenly just explodes into existence, just sheer existence all around you. And yeah.
I'm grabbing a pizza before it burns. I'm really sorry. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
so
sure.
hopefully won't miss anything important. Just so you know, I'm disappearing. 2 seconds.
That's okay. We can
appropriate her. She hasn't eaten, so we are going to make sure.
Okay. So it's where you currently are. A few things have changed. The crater's still there. The bodies are still there. Yeah. Most of this is here.
Weird.
It's very strange.
Okay.
And then as you're looking around, you go, one thing that's missing. No rift. And at that point, the rift tears.
There you are. And so I will just preemptively, dagger comes out.
You are aware that you have no impact on this timeline. You are only perceiving it. You can't do anything with it.
It's fine. I have a cunning plan. But it requires the dagger. Or at least it requires the obsidian within the blade.
Okay.
I'm back.
So for you, Kate?
Yes.
You are standing in roughly the same place as where your current bodies are. You feel that you might be like maybe a couple of miles away or something like that, but the same crater, same dust, different bodies, but the same kind of arrangement of the type of bodies that you would expect. And the one thing that's missing is the rift. And just as you think that, the rift opens up. And a very familiar halfling falls through. It's your phone.
Oh. Shit.
As he falls through, so does several ton of rock, crushing him almost instantly.
Oh. Fuck!
Pagarata.
Shit.
Oops.
You only barely have enough time to respond. to react when suddenly the rocks start to levitate, and stepping through the rift is Renata. She throws the rocks, catapult spell to one side, checks your father's pulse, and swears in Elvish. She gently cups her hand behind his head and says, "No. Oh no." Picks up his hand, breaks off a little crystal that appears there and goes, "No. It wasn't meant to be this one." She levitates the body and, with seemingly practiced gestures, cleans, you can see like dust disappearing from his skin. And when she's happy, she levitates the body and throws it back through the rift. Takes a moment, reaches into a small pouch that her hand disappears into. You recognize it's like a pouch of holding. Pulls out a bottle, and the bottle has a small milky swirl in it. No liquid, just this energy that's like a milky, almost silvery swirl. It's not quite silver, it's more white. And she goes, "See what I can do for you." She opens the bottle, and this mote of light comes out of the top of the bottle. And she goes, Come to me. I mean you no harm." And the mote suddenly glows. It kind of goes from an intense point of light to a thinner and thinner and thinner, larger area of light. And as it does so, it illuminates the same small halfling standing there, looking agog around him, and goes, Is this the afterlife? But surely... Did it? No. Has it? And Renata says, "I'm terribly sorry. There's nothing I can do now at this point. We're past a threshold." And he snaps and he goes, You can see me. You can talk to me. Look, I need to get back to my family. They rely on me. I keep them. I keep the food on the table. Yeah, you need to take me back. If I need to pay off, what was it? It's diamonds, isn't it? That to bring me back, then I'll pay it off for the rest of my life. You seem to be a well-to-do girl. And she goes, "I'm sorry. It's past all that. There's no real way of bringing you back. But this isn't where you're supposed to go. This isn't... You need to return to the gods." I wasn't ready. I know. But your soul is in danger here. This is a place disconnected from the gods. They cannot see here. They cannot act here. They're completely separated from it. Of their own free will, they wouldn't come back here even if they wanted to. It would be too dangerous, I guess. I need to take you back to where I can release you into the gods' care. We need to go back to the world that up until a few moments ago you knew. You can do this, mistress? Yes, I am. The bottle that I'm holding is, it's like a carriage, I suppose. You can step inside, and wherever I go, you will go with me. I'm going back to where we came from, to Ostergold, in fact. And I'll be able to release you there. And as I do so, the gods will see you and they will guide you back. I suppose that's the best deal I'm going to get at the moment. Sadly, yes.
Alright.
Is there anything else that you can do for me? I'm sorry to be asking. I'm not in a position to be able to pay you back, and I've always been proud. I've paid my way. Is there any way that I can ask more of you? I have a family. They're the Gatherall family. They're in the Freetown. I want them to know that I'm okay, I guess, that that you're releasing me to the gods, that I'm going to be okay, that I'm not going to somewhere bad, and that I love them. Is that something that you can do? The Scatherall family, she replies. I could do this. I don't think I'm not entirely sure what I can do for them, other than the fact that I am of means. I have an organization that looks after, well, its own people, really. You know how the city works. He gives a nod as if to say, don't worry, lass, I know. You may have even heard of us. We're quite, we're up and coming green organization. Yeah, I saw the thing on your belt. You're a member of that then? Sure, I own it. Oh. Well, we always try to stay neutral. I always thought that, other than being a Freetowner, which is not really a faction, you're just born there. Being part of factions means you're part of faction wars, which means you're more likely to get stabbed in the city. We are kind of fierce in our independence and our impartiality, and Freetown has kept us safe. Kind of want to keep that as well. I mean, if it meant that I had to do something, I would do that, but I wouldn't want my family to be part of that. Are you sure there's nothing that you can do? She said, I can relay a message, but she looks over her shoulder and says, I'm going to do something that's a little weird. There's no guarantee it's going to work. But you see, I'm rather good at things of a temporal nature. He kind of glazes over and goes, time. I'm a time wizard. Oh, I didn't know you could do things like that. And she's like, not many people can, but in fact, I'd probably get in trouble for telling somebody, but you're hardly going to kind of telling people. No, your secret's safe with me, miss, if you're going to be helping me. What I can do is open a door of opportunity. A potential that in future they can come and see you here. It would require a little bit of nudging and guiding to make sure the right things happen in the right time, but I'm somewhat very good at that. I can tell you that if I get the opportunity to, I will guide a member of your family to talk to you now. But I can't perceive it, is the problem. She reaches into the pouch and pulls out a porcelain mask. I'm going to go and put this on. I'll be able to feel it when you get into the bottle. But you'll start fading soon. So when you start fading, jump into the bottle. I'll take the mask off, and then I'll be able to hear and perceive again. I'll do this for you, because I owe it to you. I knew this was going to happen, and I didn't I didn't realize that somebody was going to come here. That could be a problem in future. Anyway, if anyone's listening right now, if anyone's here that wants to speak to this gentleman, please do so now.
Dad?
Huh? Who is it? Who? Hello?
It's Toro.
Taro! You sound so grown up, girl.
Yeah.
Where are you? Can I see you? And the second that he says, "Can I see you?" you realize that you could probably project an illusion of yourself to him.
I'm going to project Toro, a 10-year-old Toro, that slowly but relatively rapidly grows up into who she was just before the change, and actually like maybe the whole change, I guess, just to show him like the evolution of her.
All right.
I mean, she's going to be in full knight regalia.
By the end of it, yeah.
She's got some serious drip.
Yeah.
And so serious explaining to do.
Yeah, this might be a long conversation.
Just
looking to see how old she really was. I think she was 10.
Yeah. Tiny 10-year-old Taro Gatherall appears in front of Pa Gatherall. He goes, "Oh, my love." And he goes to scoop you up.
Oh, 11, but still. It's pretty on.
He goes to scoop you up, and when his hands go through, he goes, "Oh, of course, I'm not really here anymore." And you can see, he is just a soul at this point.
I'm kind of not really here either, I don't think.
But it is you. You're this is your... I'm speaking to you.
Changed quite a lot.
Well, she said she was a time wizard. How old are you?
23.
Oh, good Lord. Fellow be praised. Well, they say when you get to that age, there's a chance you're going to go the distance, isn't it? So, how is Ma? How is everybody? This is very strange. I'm asking the future.
Yeah, they're all well. They're well. But as you can see, I've changed. Things happened.
No, and as he looks at you, he goes, "Oh, you're growing."
Oh, okay, and then I'll go through the thing.
Yeah, you're growing as you're speaking this.
Okay.
Oh, Father be praised. Oh, you're growing so tall.
Well, I'm 3'1".
A whole 3'1".
Yeah.
Oh, you must have that from your mother's side.
Yeah.
And strong too. Oh, that'll be a mar. She's not gonna go easy on you, even without me around. She's not gonna go easy on you. She's gonna make sure that you're eating well and that you're doing your chores. That's what builds the arms. Oh, my word. This is fantastic. But I don't know how much time I have. Tell me, is Mar okay? Is she hurt?
No.
Is she sad? Is she still herself? I mean, she's an indomitable lass, but she's not broken, is she? Please don't tell me she's broken.
I mean, for a time, but
for a time, but she's okay.
Yes.
Do you think she remembers me?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? How could she? Of course. Of course. We can never forget you. Never.
Tell her that I love her, and always will. And wherever I am, if I can go and watch her from wherever I am, I will. And say that I'm looking after you all. I don't think I'll be able to do anything to help you, but I can be waiting for you and ready to hug you all when your journey's done. And you bloody tell her if she's going to try and cut her journey short to come and be with me, I'll have the most stinker of a mood.
I she's as stubborn as you. I don't think she would do that.
Yeah, that's the girl I fell in love with. Okay, quickly, yourself first. Yourself. Did you have you found love? Have you got a stable job?
A stable job.
So what is it? What's
Oh, it's so complicated. Well, it's not. Yes.
Not complicated, bad.
Yes,
I hope.
No.
I mean, you haven't got the lawyers after you.
No.
I mean, you've got a roof over your head.
Yes.
Okay, and food in your bellies,
yes.
and people you can rely on, and
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you haven't got too. No, nearly swore. You haven't got it too bad, then, have you?
No, I haven't got it bad at all. And as I think at that point, that's when you see her kind of change to Cora and start to change into the Fae and the thing and the gold and the.
Good heavens, you're beautiful. Oh my. Hey, well, clearly you got money if you can dye your hair that color. And those clothes.
Yes.
Oh, saints, you're like a lady.
I fell in love.
You're keeping Mum, yeah?
Yes.
Right.
But
what?
Well.
She's still okay?
Yes, everyone's
okay.
fine.
What? Come on, spit it out, girl. I haven't got much time.
I'm sorry. I'm not Taro anymore. I'm Cora.
He sobers. Cora?
Yes.
Is that like a nickname or
to a certain degree, yes.
Okay, well, sure. I mean, I don't know what Cora means. Do you work with apples?
It means I don't see Mom and the others, really.
Why?
Because I felt it was safer.
Safer for whom?
For them.
How? No, child. No. A family is always stronger together.
I know.
Always. It doesn't matter what's going on.
I didn't want to bring danger to the family, Dad.
Why, you in trouble?
I was, and...
You in trouble with the law, or you in trouble with some rat bags?
I'd say some rat bags, but not the type that you
are thinking. You band together. I speak on behalf of your mum that she's going to be pissed off at you. Pardon the language, but you're 23 now. You can hear it. She's going to be pissed off at you when she realizes that you did some bloody self-sacrificing act. We're parents, for crying out loud. If something's going to be endangering our daughter, we're going to be there front and center. You might be all with the money and the thing at the moment, but that just means that we'll be able to guide you on how to maybe use the money. I tell you what, you don't know how Freetowners work if you're doing what you're doing. We band together. Now you listen to me, my girl.
Cora is like half crying and laughing at this.
You listen to me, my girl.
Nice
when you go back, you go straight to your mother. You fucking apologize to her. Pardon the language, but you apologize for her for being a stupid girl. And you tell her what trouble you're in, and you tell her everything. Everything. You hear me? Because the only greatest heartbreak that you can give her is not being part of her life. She'll forgive you after a fashion. She'll forgive you.
Yeah, I know.
But first of all, she'll push it all to one side and she'll sort out whatever's going on in your life. And I guarantee you that. She may not have your money and she probably hasn't got your talent. She's always been of a particular talent. But I tell you what, she will never leave your side. You may have friends, sure, and I'm glad to hear that you've got them. But she will never leave your side. She will ground you, she will center you, and she will be able to give you wisdom that you only get as you start to approach death, Michael.
She will ground you for a month.
Do you think that I didn't think about life, about you, about family, about how unfair life is every time I went down this mine? Every day we were carrying bodies out. Don't know what the bloody hell happened to me, but every day we carried bodies out, and every time you would be thinking, what if it's me? What tomorrow if it's me? That gives you a crash course in bloody wisdom, Michael. It does. It does. What's it going to be like? Every day when I came down into this mine, I imagined your poor mother being a widow. I imagined you not having a father. Turns out it was bloody true as well, wasn't it? Every day. That gives you wisdom. And every day when I went down there, your mother was thinking exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
I know.
You only go through that heartache every single day and get stronger. Because after a while, I'd walk down here and I'd know that you'd know how much I loved you.
We do, Dad. We did. We do. Still.
And yet you're ignoring the biggest lesson that I gave you by doing all this, by coming in here day in, day out, 6 days a week. And that was that we were still together. Until life tore us apart and there was no negotiation, I was always there by your side, by your mother's side. And it's how we ended up getting bonds throughout the community as well. You go back and you build those bonds, because I can tell you, you could have the burliest fighter from a tavern, you could have the smartest hedge witch, you could have the most pious priest, you could have a lord, a king, the empress herself by your side. And none of them would be able to provide for you what they will. There's a soul and center to everything in the world, that's a soul and center. And if you lose that, you lose who you are and why you do what you do. I didn't. I knew what was happening when I came down here, and I knew the risks. And I was ready for them.
There were risks you shouldn't have had to take.
It's life, girl. Can't go anywhere without risks.
I know.
They may have been more than I deserved. It might have been less than I deserved. Only the gods will tell, and I have a feeling I'll have a conversation with them short enough. But we were ready. I was ready. I guarantee you, for all the hardship that your mother went through, she was ready. But you're not. You proved that by what you've just said to me. By walking away from your family, you've lost your soul and center. That's what it is to live, lass. That's what it is to live. You've got to have that compass, or what's the point in doing it? Yeah?
Yeah.
People get lost in fantasy. Don't let you be lost the same. I'm tired. I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could hear more about your stories, about the things that you did. Tell me. Let's get down to the serious stuff. Person that you said you got someone special. Yeah?
Enola.
Enola.
She's
Lovely
beautiful.
name. Hang on. Enola. The cloth merchant girl.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. She's a bit tall, but
I'm.
okay.
Well, I mean, she's. Yeah, she's.
But-
You know, I'm 3'1", Dad. I'm pretty tall. Okay.
Oh, that's true. That's
And-
true. You've got to be as big as she is. No,
Uh-huh.
you're not.
And
Yeah, you got to be as big as she is. Now, bear in mind, he's remembering Enola when Enola is probably 3'1".
Yeah, probably.
Oh well. Well, there we go. Yeah.
There's
I-
more, I suppose.
More. Oh, you're married.
Not official. No.
Oh
not
well, not
yet.
officially. If you have cast your troth between you, that's all that matters.
Simon,
Mhm.
can I cast divine intervention?
Oh shit!
You're never separated from your god, so yes.
I cast divine intervention.
Roll your dice.
What are you
Ooh.
asking the gods for?
I want to give the family, all of them, and Enola and her family, one last day, all together. Just spend it how they like,
Aww.
in
I
any way
think-
that they can.
I think I put a D100 roll in the chat. And for something this big and this story changing, oh yes, I definitely put a D100. I've got a roll on the bastard in a minute to get the wild magic done.
Let me roll my dice.
Yeah, because the D100 you.
Come on.
Yeah, can do that.
Because don't you roll a D100 for
Still
divine
staring
intervention?
at it. You rolled your dice. You're still staring at it. It needs to be.
13.
It's
13.
under our level.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
13. Hold on.
Okay, I was going to get you to
Is
roll
that
in
what it
chat,
has
but
to
you
be,
didn't get
under-
where I was going. Has to be below his physical level.
Yeah, and
Oh,
our
that's
level
like
is
one
14.
below.
But is it though? For Feral is multi-class.
Yeah, no, he's still
But
level
it's-
14
it's
total.
yeah,
just
it's still
total number of
total.
levels of the character. Yeah.
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 Sorry, I had to force myself to cry, so excuse me a second.
There you go.
I haven't done that on stage for a while.
Sorry,
I used to be able to blub
have
on command. It
I
was
have
great.
my little
Oh.
physical little dice tray, my little Cthulhu dice tray right next
Yeah.
to me, and I was just like, okay.
Mm.
Roll the
worst thing is,
dice.
it did-
Hear
you know
the
that
clickety
bit-
clack.
You know the bit where like you roll it, and it sits on that high number, and then you're like, oh no, and then it just rolls backwards. I was like,
Okay. You kind of misunderstood me. I was going to get you to roll it in the chat, but I'll
oh,
go with it.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll go with it. I was going to say for something this big, we roll in the chat, but
Oh, my bad.
that's
my
fine.
bad.
That's fine. I'm
I
willing
just
to
like
go.
fizz dice. I've got such nice.
I know.
dice.
I know. For you, it was probably a more tense moment. Okay. Basically, you had a 1 in 10 chance. So
Slightly higher because.
yes, slightly higher, but you basically have 1 in 10
Yeah.
chance. Chances are, if you got the 10s on a 1, then the rest was history.
Mhm.
Okay. So, oh, actually, it would have also been 0s, but never mind. Anyway, so we will see. We will see. He says, so you said complicated, Cora.
Well,
I mean,
she's
What is
a
it?
princess.
no. You got to be born to be a princess, don't you?
She's half fae. Dad, she's the daughter of the Summer King.
Yeah, she's half elf. That's right.
She's the daughter of the Summer King.
I never got to the almanac. I don't know what's the summer. King?
Well, he's like king of the fae. I like there's the winter court and the summer court, and he's the big boss and
Okay, so he's like an elf king, right?
kinda, but of the fair, like I I don't sleep anymore, Dad. I go to the Fey realm.
Well, you got to get your 8 hours in.
No,
It's
okay,
very
yeah,
important.
okay. Now
You're
what I
eating
meant.
your 6 meals a day, yes?
Yes,
Okay,
of course.
good,
I
good.
mean, I
Right.
would
Six
never give
meals
that
a
up.
day.
And that is that.
I mean,
of course.
halfling.
I just
Oh,
like.
please, Cora eats 8 meals a day. Let's
Yeah,
be
that's
honest
the one
here.
thing she definitely
To be
does.
fair, it's 6 minimum. So,
Like I mean, look at this. Look, this goal. This is my. I'm a knight of the Summer Realm. Like, I protect
you're a knight.
her. Yes.
And at that point, when you say I'm a knight of the Summer Realm, your image explodes in this beautiful Fey armor. You're. How can a dut like you? Dut, by the way, is Welsh for small person. How can a dut like you be a knight?
Well, I mean, I ask myself the same thing often enough, but it happened.
You're not winding your old man up. I haven't got much time. You're betrothed to a princess, and you're a knight yourself. What?
I mean, every day I go there, I become more Fey.
More. No, love. That's not how it works.
I mean,
your children might be Fey, but not.
Oh,
You don't just get it from.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
it's Faye, all sorts of weird shit.
I don't understand it all myself. Okay, I've never been that smart. I just.
Well, we're not exactly going to be a good think tank, you and I, are we?
No. And I'm gonna demonstrate like an Eldritch Blast or a thing, like some sort of magic. I'm obviously still illusion, but I'm just gonna show stuff and.
I mean, technically speaking, you can show him Enola. You throw.
Yeah.
It's illusion. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I see. I thought it was just for me, but yeah.
You throw the Eldritch Blast, and he's just like, oh, well, it's better than a sword.
I mean, if I realize that I can generate any kind of illusion, to be honest, I think I have like an illusion in my thing. I will try and take like just even briefly just take just suddenly spread out as if from where he's standing, like take him essentially to the Fey realm. And just show him the color of the thing, and show him Enola.
Yeah, you kind of do it as a very clear illusion,
No,
but you do it as like a panorama. Yeah, like
it's kind of thing.
Diorama. That's the word. Like a diorama in front of him, like a full size.
Just
diorama.
so he can sort of see the idea and Enola and the king like in the distance and stuff.
And
like,
this is your home now.
This is my home every night. My home every day is with my friends, my family.
And soon your family.
Yes, my real family.
A dying man gets a final wish, you know.
I've wanted it so long, Dad. I wanted it. I thought it was the best way to keep everyone safe.
My wish is that in good time, with no dalliance more than is acceptable, you will go up to your mother and you will say who you are. You will apologize for being away for so long. And you will let her into your life.
Yeah.
I will pass happily knowing this. Give me your oath.
I promise you don't even need to ask. I've never stopped paying.
You're a knight now, and there's one thing I know about knights. They can't break their oaths.
I swear it.
And I'm ready.
I'm
pissed off, but I'm ready.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to join you when I might end up staying in the Fey realm.
Well, if you end up staying in the Fey realm, you can ask fairies and stuff to somehow figure it out.
Yeah.
If you're there, and if you're there for the hereafter, means you got a lot of time to get it right, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I do know is hard work. So
The illusion's gonna go up to him and try and hug him, even though it can't.
I'm hugging you too, lass. I'm hugging you too.
I miss you.
I only saw you this morning. I haven't had a time to miss you, but I will.
You miss me scraping my knee real bad.
Yeah, right. You used to come back like they were badges of honor.
Yeah.
Well, a halfling should not dally.
No.
And a gatherall does not dally. I've got business to attend to, lass.
Love you.
I love you too. All of you. So much.
I will tell them as much.
Till we meet again.
Yeah.
Live a good life. He steps up to the bottle, stares at it, and disappears. At that point, Renata stoppers the bottle and says out loud, if you're here or anything that I can perceive, you need to leave. It could cause damage to what we've just done if I perceive you. However, when you come back to wherever you are in the future, seek me out. My name is Renata Green. I am in the royal quarter of Ostakal. I will give you a word to know me by. Let's see. Stature. Yes. Walk up to me and say the word stature, out of context. Nothing else. And I shall know that you are here. She puts the bottle back in the pouch. Now you must leave.
I say as much to farewell if we are able to communicate that way. And
I mean, to a certain extent, you can just pull the illusion first,
Yeah.
so that she doesn't perceive you. You see her take this
Hold on.
deep breath.
Sorry.
Oh, go on. If you're going to do this while Renata's still there, yeah.
Yeah. I want to take a tiny slither of the knife. And I just want to, if I can, throw it through the portal. And I want to try and somehow just... God, what's the fucking spell called? There's a spell that allows it to... It records things. I can't remember what it's called. I've seen it somewhere.
It's like a form of scrying, isn't it? It's,
you just sort of record stuff. And I just want to throw it through. And I just want to... Just... Because I don't intend to come and pick it back up again until I get back around. I want to see what's on the other side of this when this first went down, because this is the second time now this portal has just appeared in the most tragic of circumstances.
It was in a different shaft last time, and it appeared in the different part of this world. Although you kind of get that this world probably isn't much bigger than the ring around the crater.
Yeah.
It's like a purpose-built plane. In order to do this, you'll have to break off part of the knife, throw it back through time to this location, and then it will have to go through the portal. The first thing I'm going to need from you is going to be a spellcasting roll.
Okay. Am I pushing my luck tonight? As I rolled pretty really well, is this the one time where I really fuck it up? Here we go, guys.
I don't need a natural 20. you're at a power level where a respectable score will tell us what you do.
Well, it's a 16 on the dice,
It's pretty good.
and it's a 10 for the spell attack bonus.
26. It's
Yep.
good. You break it off, and you realize that from where your point of perception is, the rift is probably only maybe 20 foot away. You can throw that easy. And the rift's big. It's like hitting the side of a barn. The throwing part of it isn't hard. The distance isn't hard. It's the distance of time that's hard, because you're going to have to throw this back. Let's see, 11, Cora's 23 now. You're going to have to throw this 12 years away. Yeah? However, with that roll, I will grant it. It leaves your hand, and I need to do a perception check for Renata Green. She takes a resigned sigh, looks at the bottle. She doesn't put it in the pouch of holding, by the way. She puts it just in a regular pouch. She takes she looks back at the bottle and goes, I am sorry. So sorry. I'm not perfect. None of us are. And as she steps back to... cocked. Okay. As she steps back towards the portal, the little flicker that goes through, she flexes her fingers, and a stream of force bolts, magic missile, come out of her hands like one of those MIRV rockets, multiple warheads, honing on your the chip. It hits the chip because it's magic missile. It hits the chip maybe like 12 times. But all that does is knocks it further towards the rift and through the rift. She leaps forward going, no, 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 and jumps through the rift, and the rift closes. So when do you retrieve the data, according to the spell? What's the spell's name?
I haven't got a name for it yet, because it was literally just one of those spur of the moments.
Okay.
I think Farewell can't...
I'm going to say, because it went transplanar in the past, you have to go and find that object to collect the data off it.
That's fine. That's fine. Because I should have... Although I can't do it today, I'd have to
Tomorrow
sleep.
you can get find object and just go towards it.
I was going to say, I can't do it today. I'd have to sleep, and then I get fine. But I have a unique connection to it. And you never know, there may be ways around that. Plus, I also have, like, the Rogue. And the Rogue has insanely stupid investigation abilities. And as such, I could just go, I'll tell you a secret if you find the tiny little shard. Who's, like, not paying attention. Hello, Corinne.
Oh, it's the secret?
Exactly. You see? You wake her up, you go, you flick her on the nose and go, there's a glimpse of the secret.
What is the secret? What do you have to tell me? Wait.
He's not back yet. At the moment,
It's not back
Nick,
yet, but-
Nick is talking hypothetically. So what I will say is, Renata says, what do you see? And it's clear that Renata is talking to your physical body, so you can hear her, but isn't aware of what you're perceiving right now. There seems to be some anxiety in her voice.
Kindness is what I saw in a terrible moment. Anything more than that, and spoilers.
Come back. Ed,
Yeah.
you don't want to go further back. I have a feeling that we might get in trouble if you go too far.
I have a feeling that I'm going to be spending a lot of my time in trouble. Seems to be my modus operandi.
Well, you chose the career, farewell. And can you do me a favor and call Cora back? She's not physically here right now.
No, but she's with me, and she'll come back with me.
I figured she followed you. I was kind of betting on it.
Have our moments.
Come back. Now,
Ready? I turn to Cora. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Family, huh?
Can you believe he yelled at me and he was dead? I mean, I get an earful and I'm pretty much grounded, I think, even though...
I brought mine back to life. It doesn't give it. There's no gratitude.
you brought them back to life and you haven't visited yet. You are in so much trouble, farewell.
You are in so much trouble.
I'm in so much trouble. I literally brought them back to life.
Literally, you're just riding on the fact that you saved their lives at the moment, and even that's getting thin.
That is getting thin, and it's just like, because seeing this conversation, but from Farewell's end, and it's just like, nah, bro, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well.
So on the point of view of Glory and Eclipse, apologies, by the way.
Is there some magic that's about to go off?
When we get back, yeah. It's going to be fun putting wild magic going off in a mine shaft. I will roll with whatever Scorn does to the mine shaft. So, as far as you guys are concerned, Farewell closed his eyes. Renata talked to him for a bit. Cora disappeared. And just as you guys were like, what the fuck? Cora, a little bit of back and forth that you just heard for Renata, and suddenly Farewell opens his eyes and Cora reappears. For you, this happened only in the conversational parts of this session between current Renata and current Farewell. So the total amount of time that's kind of gone by is about 5 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Time is a pain. So, and I put my arm around
trust me, this is it's absolutely fascinating. And again, I'm not supposed to know about this according to the laws, isn't that right?
Something along those lines, but I trust you enough that you know when discretion is the better point of valor.
Well, I am assuming you haven't said a word about this to you.
No. They would be far too interested in it for
He knows very much well what Glory will, or he believes he knows very much what Glory will and won't do when it comes to this sort of information, and trusts her implicitly. But I give an arm round to Eclipse, and I give her that sort of side hug, and I go, so.
Yes, there was a conversation, and then there was something you said about me. Renata, what was that?
Renata is looking anxious as fuck. And a little guilty.
I roll the dagger across the top of my palm, and I lean it just so you can see the little part where there's like a slither that's been severed off the edge. And I go, I need to find the missing piece of that.
She pulls her hand out of her pocket and hands you the missing piece.
Well, shit.
You scared the life out of me, Farewell.
Well, I was curious.
I thought a demon was escaping.
Well, I'm not a demon.
No, but a small black piece nearly getting past me and through the rift. I thought it was some sort of small demon or spirit or something like that. When I picked it up and found it was just a shard of obsidian.
Just any shard of obsidian.
Well, I know that now.
I'm like, come here. And I just
when did you make the connection that the shard of obsidian was like his life
Probably when she saw it.
It's only what she put two and two together when she saw him pull out the knife, and she was just like, "Oh, that's what it was." She had it on her because she knew she was sending back the people to the point where she was back then. So therefore, it was a reason to have the thing that she found at that point. Now, I'm so glad I
time magic.
Time magic. Time stories. So she
I'm
goes,
sorry, Eclipse. That means we cannot share with you the great secret.
Why?
Because Renata spoiled it.
if Renata hadn't spotted it, you would have to have gone down a different mine shaft to get it.
I'm picking on Eclipse.
Yeah, obviously.
Renata spoiled it.
You're so mean, Renata. Why would you spoil the secret for me? I would never know.
I thought it was a demon, and I picked it up because it clearly was important, because it was something not from the plane that I was in that came through the.
And that
Let's go through the rift.
Had all the juicy Eclipse secrets on it that you were needed to know, and because she's picked it up.
Yes, you can tease the cat later. Can we please go through the rift? I'm exhausted in there.
Sorry, yeah, okay, come on.
Head through.
Remember, don't tell me about me until you meet me in a couple of hours' time, okay? Oh, and do me a favor and bring me some coffee.
You do know to get, like, for no context. And I point to the Eclipse. She's going to be so upset at you, and you're going to have no fucking clue.
I've come to accept that sometimes I have to wait to know what
fucking sucks, doesn't it?
She gives you a smile and says, "It's not my favorite, no."
No, nor ours. Shall we? And I walk through the rift.
She gestures, turns invisible, and as she walks towards the rift.
Well then.
You step through, and on the other side is a heavily sweating Renata, the same gold lightning shooting from her fingers, holding together a piece of the fabric of reality. Her nose now is bleeding profusely, and she goes, "Thank God, I don't think I could have lasted much longer." She pushes and seals the rift.
Excuse me.
Go on. Yes, I'm talking to you, Scornfuse. Go on.
It is time, Scorn.
Wild
Your
magic.
time has come.
Well, there was a metaphysical reason for this. Wild magic physically couldn't happen in the place you were in, so it had to wait from the moment that you went back into the prime material plane.
Ah.
Because the place that you were in was disconnected from the maelstrom.
You there, Scormy?
Yeah, he said something just a second ago. So D6 and D100. I'll bring it up.
We wait with bated breath.
The amount of cat memes and gifs there are surely makes it so easy.
Just in case Scorm isn't around, I'm going to do the D6 so I know which table I'm looking at. Ooh. My D6 didn't work.
Interesting.
There you go. And then Scornfuse put the D100. Cool. Right, so 193.
That's a high number.
Yeah, it is. So 1 is that. All right. What a good one to end on. So as you step through and the earth elemental is holding up the ceiling, you can see that during this small amount of time that you've been away, they've got rid of a lot more of the rocks. The earth elemental now is only really needing to use one arm in anger, and the other one's just kind of holding a few bits back. You step through, and Renata closes the rift and collapses back against the chest of the earth elemental. As she does so, she gets smaller. And so does the earth elemental. And so does the tunnel. And so does the box. And all of the other people, as all four of you start growing and growing. So, we're going to stay.
But I did my part of growing already.
We are going to be opening on your rapidly accelerating situation.
Magic, by the way.
And we will come back for that next session. A big thank you to Corinne, Kate, Nick, and Felicia for this story today. Hopefully next time when we come back, we'll have Rodrigo back. Rest well, mate. And big thank you to Snipe, Hermit, Stormfuse, Dacia, and a huge thank you to Prime.
Prime.
Big love to
Yeah.
Prime.
Yes.
You have been a hero tonight.
MVP here, swinging that banhammer for us as well. And thank you to Nick, because I noticed that you've been doing it as well. So thank you for that. We will raid. Indeed, we shall. We shall raid. I think it's a good way to get back into the flow of things. And I think, let's go for Seekian. Kate, do you know if he's going to be on for... He's on Red Dead. What the hell am I on about? He's going to be on for the rest of the night.
He might not. Well, he's not as bad as me, but he will be on for a bit probably because he's just gone on vacation today from work. So although he only had 5 hours sleep last night, but if he doesn't keep going, he will raid someone else. So
yeah, okay, fair enough. We're going to jump in and say hi to Sean.
Or Saf will be on.
Yeah, and as you say, he'll pass the baton on.
Yeah.
So big thank you to you all. Have a fantastic weekend. And join us on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time for the continuing saga of Numenera. I've got 2 to catch up on now. I've got to get my arse in gear. But we will see you soon. Have a fantastic weekend and take care of yourselves. Good night.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.